Peace, peace, and peace, y'all. Rob Blackstorm here. Happy Memorial Day to everyone. I hope you're having a wonderful day. And if you're not having a wonderful day, I hope you're working on making it better. Because nothing comes to a sleeper but a dream. So we want to make our dreams a reality. And the only way we can make our dreams reality is by working on them. Shout out to everyone that's watching this. Special shout out to the Hood Mystic. Another special shout out. First, me and the Hood Mystic, we had a great conversation this weekend. So look out. We may be doing some new things in the future. Not maybe, we will be doing some new things in the future. So look out for that. Shout out to Cyber Wifey, Atia Atana. You know what I'm saying? One of my homegirls, one of my oracles. I appreciate you. Shout out to Kamisha Warren, another oracle. Appreciate you. Thank you for everything. Shout out to Mastery Foolish. I appreciate him sharing my videos and bringing some of y'all here. And the Hood Mystic also for bringing some of y'all here. This is Memorial Day, so we want to remember those that impacted us. So, give these people a call, shout them out, send them a DM, send them a text, people that help you, people that, give you new life and show you new things. Shout them out. Give them love, man, because love brings back more love. And what I want to get into with that is I want to talk about electromagnetic you. You are an electromagnetic being. We are all electromagnetic beings. We all generate electricity. Even when we're sleeping, our heart is beating. When we're sleeping, we have something called rapid eye movement, or REM, which happens especially during the dream state. So we are all electromagnetic beings. We all generate electricity. And electricity is another word for energy. Electricity, energy, they are synonymous. They are the same thing. It's no big deal. So when we're talking about the electromagnetic field that we produce, we have to realize what this is. Now, electromagnetism. Let's first start with the first word, which is electro. Electricity is generated from our atoms. We are all made up of atoms. Atoms are the building blocks of everything in the universe. So everything is made up of atoms. Atoms have three things: proton, neutron, and electron. Proton is a positive charge, neutron is a neutral charge, electron is a negative charge. So positive and negative live within you, right? We're all made of atoms. Besides this physical, skin, what I call a meat suit, right? Because that's all it is just a suit for your spirit, a suit for your energy, a suit for your internal electricity. And if you don't think that there is a spirit within you, I want you to say the word fish. Without opening your mouth, say the word fish. Okay, hopefully you said the word fish. Now, if you said the word fish, remember, you said that without moving your mouth. There was a voice in your head that said fish. Now, that voice in your head is your spirit. That is your your electrical signature. That is your energy signature. That is really who you are. That space in your mind that said fish, that is who you are. And that is the most important thing. So when we're talking about the electro part of being, we're talking about the mind, the spirit, the mind, the quantum universe, the astral universe, the subconscious mind, the chi. These are all names. Ra in Egyptian, Kemetic, these are all names for spirit or energy or power. Now we know when we wake up during the day, we have a certain amount of energy, just like our phones, right? We wake up, say you put the phone on the charger at night before you go to bed, right? You go to sleep, you wake up, your battery on your phone is at 100%. The same way we are. We go to sleep, we wake up, the battery on our phone is at 100%. Now, what's going to determine is how much battery you have left at the end of the day, just like your cell phone, is how much do you use. Now, most of your energy goes towards your basic functions. Eating, digestion, thinking, you might be running, moving, whatever you're doing during the day, working, which requires thought, which requires energy. So all these processes that are part of our body require energy. In fact, even when we're sleeping, like I said, we have rapid eye movement and we have a heartbeat. So we are always conducting energy. We are always putting forth energy out into the universe. What happens is with this electro, right? The electricity, the energy that we are emitting, we create with that electricity a magnetic field around us. Anything that generates electricity is generating a magnetic field. Now, the electrical field that we generate is the same electrical field that is around our very atoms. In fact, the reason my hand cannot go through this structure, right? My hand cannot go through my cell phone is because the cell phone has an electrical field. So let's say, just to give you a vivid example, if I was to slap the shit out you, right? If I was to slap the shit out you, right? My hand has an electrical field. So the reason my slap doesn't go through your face is because the electrical field on my hand is meeting the electrical field on your face. So me slapping you is basically me, my electrical field is bouncing off your electrical field. And what happens after that? So I slap you, right? The energy of my slap is going to cause a chain reaction, right? I slap you, your face moves, it's going to cause a chain reaction. That your electrical field is going to send signals to your flesh or to your body that you are in pain, right? If I slap you hard enough, it's going to send electrical signals that you're in pain. That electrical signal is going to secrete hormones in your body. That hormone in your body is going to be cortisol, most of it. Your hypothalamus, which is in your brain, is going to secrete hormones. And those hormones are going to prepare you to either fight me or run from me. So again, I slap you, my electrical field meets the electrical field on your face. The electricity that's generated from my slap, right? Me slapping you, the electricity generated from my slap, it's going to affect your whole body. Going to affect your whole body. Even though I just slapped you in your face, it's going to put your whole body in a state of fight or flight. It's going to make you tense. You're going to either run from me or you're going to stand up and fight me, right? It's going to secrete cortisol, which is your stress hormone. It's going to lower your IQ. The reason it lowers your IQ is because you don't need your brain really if you're fighting me. Now, if you're a monk, you study the martial arts, you know to be at peace when you are fighting or when you're engaging someone. But most people are not at that level of mastery, including myself, right? Somebody smacks me, I'm gonna attack them, right? Now, maybe because I meditate, I might be thinking a little more before I smack them, but 9 times out of 10, I'm gonna react because I'm gonna be put in that state of fight or flight, and it's gonna make me aggressive. It's gonna essentially turn me into an animal. Because what happens is every time you're stressed out, every time you're tense, every time you have a problem or an issue, you lower your IQ, no matter what it is. So what happens to us as humans in this meat suit is we have been conditioned, right? We are conditioned by outside energy. Just like that slap conditioned your body and put you in stress, you can imagine, or not even imagine, what is happening is the news is doing the same thing to you. When you watch police brutality, when you watch a horror movie, when you watch, like myself, I saw abuse in my household. When you watch childhood abuse, when you watch parental abuse, when you see things happen in your neighborhood, people getting shot, people getting stabbed, people getting killed on a day-to-day basis, this affects your internal hormonal system, your nervous system, your circulatory system, but mostly your nervous system. Some people, if you notice or if you are observant, people that stress a lot usually have, as they get older, they usually have 2 distinct problems. And the number 1 killer of Black people is heart disease, not drugs, not crack, not lean, not police shootings. It's heart disease. And it is because the heart is sympathetic. It's part of your sympathetic nervous system. You have 2 nervous systems, your sympathetic and your parasympathetic. Your parasympathetic handles all the subconscious mind stuff. Your blood flow, your digestion, your respiration, all the things that you think about without walking, all the things that you think about without thinking about, all the things that you're not conscious of. Those are handled by the subconscious, which is the parasympathetic. But your heart in particular takes in that energy. All the stress, somebody getting shot, somebody slapping you, somebody being verbally abusive, it affects you. And this is because all these things are coming to you in waves. waveforms, sound waves, light waves. You're emitting physical waves, right? You're emitting a frequency through your heart. Your heart has a beat. So those are waves in the body. So as that wave goes up and you're excited, right? Because of the stress, your heart goes like this because now you're in fight or flight. Your brain is not at its maximum, so you're able to essentially be manipulated. So when we're talking about that's the electrical part, and that's how the electrical part works on our bodies physically, and that's how it works on our brain. But when we're talking about the magnetic part happens based on the electricity that we put out. Look at it this way: when you have a plug, right? When you have a plug outlet, and you want to plug something into that outlet, the outlet and the plug have to connect, right? If I'm using a fan, right, for example, and I have a fan, and I don't plug that plug into the outlet, that fan is not going to spin because there is no electricity connecting it. You have something in your brain called neurons and synapses and axons, and without getting too scientific, because I'm not using diagrams, these things are connected energetically. So it's the same thing as you plugging that plug into the socket to have the fan to work is the same thing that happens to your thoughts, right? Now, we talked about your atomic electrical field and how, I don't think we talked about this. We live in a holographic universe, meaning everything that we are taking in, light, or we're taking in is affected by our five senses. So we have hearing, taste, touch, sound, and feeling, right? All these things are electrical. All these things are taken into our electrical field, right? So when we hear something, those are sound waves. When we see something, those are light waves. When we taste something, our taste buds have get electrical charge, and it produces hormones that give us taste. When we smell something, right? They have a science called aromatherapy. A lot of us use incense. We burn sage, right? These are aromatherapy. Aromatherapy is basically therapy with aroma, or therapy with smell, because it affects your physical mood, right? So everything, when we touch things, it has a feeling. Some things are rough, some things are smooth. When we touch water, it has a feeling. If water feels different than if you put your hand in cocoa butter, right? They're two different things. So everything has its own feeling and its own electronic charge or electronic signature. So when we take in things from the outside world, we have to realize that these things are shaping us. When we take in the news, when we're watching the news on a day-to-day basis, when we are watching fight videos, when we are watching excessive abuse, when we are in traumatic environments, where verbal abuse happens, physical abuse happens, where the environment is not conducive to your well-being, what happens is you start to, and more often, not just you taking it in, what happens is in the future, you start to replay these events in your mind. For example, I have a situation with my mother, right? I was talking to actually my homegirl Atia about this, and my mother used to always destroy a lot of my creations, right? And because she thought this was the best way to discipline me, so she used to always destroy a lot of my creations. And see, even me thinking about it, right? You could probably even see me shift physically even thinking about it. And this is how trauma works. So, she used to destroy a lot of my creations. And when I would replay it back physically again, I felt the same feeling that I felt when I was 9, 10, 14, 15. If I watch something, about a woman getting abused, it brings me back to situation where my mom got abused, So these things bring me back, and they affect you physically. So what happens is when you replay drama that happened in your mind, you're sending an electrical signal to your body, and you're basically asking for these things to come back into you, especially when you pray them over and over and over and over. You ever been around someone that complains a lot? Somebody that's always stressed? Someone that always has bad things to say? If you're in that vein with that person, you either agree with them and you're toxic as well, and you lower your vibration to match them, or you have to stay away from them, or disassociate yourself with them, or be around them as little as possible, because essentially they are toxic, and they are toxic based on your electromagnetic energy. You are electric magnets. Your electrical magnetism. So the energy that you receive from the outside world is going to affect you. It's going to affect you no matter what you do. People say, "Oh, I watch reality shows. It's just entertainment." All right, all right. Look around. Look around. Go from 2000 to 2019 and 20 and beyond, and look at how many black women now are wearing these crazy ass eyelashes. Just look around. Look at between 2007, when the internet started really popping, right, to 2019, 2020 and beyond, and see how many women now have plastic surgery, fake asses, fake titties, lip fillers. This isn't a coincidence. This isn't fashion. Plastic surgery is not on the Paris Fashion Week in New York, or the Paris runway, right? This is real life. This is electromagnetism in action, right? You see, men are acting way more feminine. I think I was watching or reading something that said the grip of a man in the 60s was at, I think, 126 pounds per pressure per. So if you have one of those grippers, you gripped it. The grip was about 126. I think it's pounds or ounces. Don't quote me on that. You can look this up. And the woman's was 96. Right now it's flipped. The women's grip strength is at 126, and the men's is at 98. Why do you think this is happening? It's the environment that we are in. I have nothing against homosexuals. Live your life, do what you want to do. You know what I'm saying? But you have to realize that these things have an effect with kids are growing up and watching cartoons with homosexual behavior. Men are growing up without men as role models, without fathers. Fathers are being incarcerated, right? So they're being affected. The problem is not that men are trash or men are toxic or that there's toxic masculinity. Is that men do not know how to be men, and there are not role models that are showing men how to be men. So that is the problem. And that is magnetism at work. When we do new trends, in the 90s, I used to wear baggy jeans. Now you wouldn't catch me dead in a pair of baggy jeans, right? Because the way the environment has dictated is that if I wear big old baggy jeans like Jay-Z in the 90s, I'm gonna look crazy, right? And honestly, you could do that if you feel like it, right? In the world, there's no big thing, but I'm gonna look crazy. I'm gonna look out of place, because the electromagnetism is that people are wearing jeans that are much more fitting. That's the environment. So we are all affected by our environment. Now the key is, are you affecting your environment? Because your electromagnetism works both ways. The energy that you put out produces waves. Right now I'm putting sound waves out into the universe. Right now there's light that's emitted through the universe. I am emitting infrared waves right now without doing anything. You know how soldiers wear those infrared glasses? We are all infrared. Talk about no chakras needed. Infrared is below the chakra level. If you look at infrared energy, it's below the chakra level. It has nothing even to do with your testicles or your genitals. You just emit heat. That's why infrared is used. So now that we know that we are electromagnetic, and by magnetic, it doesn't mean positive and negative. That's what you're dealing with iron. You're dealing with positive and negative charges, bringing things together. As a human, your electromagnetic energy is designed to bring things to you. And it's designed to protect you from the environment. It's designed to let you know, if Rob slapped you yesterday, that next time that you see Rob, be careful, or be prepared to fight. Or be prepared to run. That's electromagnetic energy. It gives you the energy to know, okay, when this scenario happens again, to be aware. But the electromagnetic energy is fueled by your emotions. And by your emotions, emotions are just energy or electricity that you put out. So we always talk about energy, but it's the electricity that you put out that brings things to you. The energy that you put out will magnetize things to you. The energy that you produce will bring what you desire to you. It's the law of attraction pretty much on a higher level, because now we have scientific proof. And you can look up electromagnetic energy. It's right there on the internet. It's very easy to find. But we are electromagnetic beings. We're beings that produce electricity. So our magnetism is here. Our magnetism is apparent. Our magnetism is who we are. We are magnetic. There's members of the nation of gods and earth who call themselves magnetic or supreme magnetic, because that's who we are. We are magnets. But the way we are able to draw in things is we have to avoid things that give us trauma, because these trauma is going to replay in our heads. And once we're an adult, we have the option of not dealing with trauma. We have the option of avoiding trauma. And well, let me say this. You're never going to avoid trauma 100%. There's always going to be shit that happens. There's always going to be things that occur that's out of your control. But the thing is, if your magnet is bringing in good things all the time, if your magnet is producing good things all the time, and the way your magnetism works is the electricity that you produce. What energy are you producing? What energy are you giving to the world? If you meet somebody at the register that has a bad day, are you just attracting their energy, or are you putting energy out to attract good to you? If I see somebody at the register now and they're stressed out, I say, or they have an attitude, I say, hard day, right? Or, how's everything going? I am specifically changing the energy so that our relationship, instead of being negative, is positive, right? I am changing her magnet. I'm using my magnet to change her magnet. That's being God. That's using electromagnetic energy wisely. An example of using electromagnetic energy wrong is commercials and marketing, right? The reason there's humor in commercials, the reason that there's Ronald McDonald, and the reason that there is the King is so that your electricity is magnetically attracted to these things when you see them. Marketing and advertising is all about electromagnetic energy. They're all trying to get you to buy. They're all trying to draw you into purchase. So if something is drawing you into purchasing it, isn't it magnetic? If they're using a woman to sell a car, right? Isn't that in a magazine ad? Isn't that magnetic? Isn't that trying to draw you to something? Isn't that woman magnetic? If they're using a buff dude to sell protein powder, that's magnetic energy to draw you into, when you see that protein powder in the store, to draw it in. And Avengers Endgame, Tony Stark said, yeah, I got a little Axe body spray. Why do you think they put that product placement in there? That wasn't an accident. He just didn't say Axe body spray. Axe paid for that. And the Axe body spray is so that next time you see Axe body spray in the store, you're magnetically attracted to go buy it. So that's how magnetism can be used for evil. And that's not necessarily saying marketing and advertising is bad, but it is the psychology of electromagnetic or electromagnetism. So how do we generate our own electromagnetic energy instead of us getting played by electromagnetic energy or us being manipulated by others' electromagnetic energy? Because that's what's happening nowadays. We have to have better habits. We have to create habits that raise our vibration so that we can ascend. And the way we ascend is by bringing more and more positive energy in our lives, by generating more and more positive energy as things go forth, by producing more and more positive things in our life, by producing or going towards things that we want to see, going towards our dreams, and creating habits that support that. Because remember, advertising works by repetition. Me slapping you and you seeing me again is a repetitious act. You repeating when your boyfriend or your girlfriend's hit you or said something wrong is a repetitious act. So we also have to guard what we repeat. We have to be mindful of what we're thinking. And the only way we could do that is one way is by our habits. What do we do out here in this world? What type of energy are we giving to the world? How are we training our magnet to attract what we need? We have to be disciplined. We have to honor ourselves. One of the ways that we magnetically attract ourselves or use our electromagnetism is by using tools such as prayer. A lot of people that watch this are into the occult by honoring our deities, by honoring our ancestors, by visualizing our best versions of ourselves, and then acting towards the best version of ourselves by emulating those that are successful and modeling successful habits. We will then become successful, and looking into ourselves, man know thyself, meditating, going into ourselves, taking time out for ourselves, right? There's some people who can't even go outside without having people, who can't go any place without anyone. How will you ever get to know yourself? The rule of thumb is man know thyself. The rule of any ancient system is man know thyself. And right now, people talk about white people, but white people are meditating like a motherfucker. Meditating like a motherfucker. And black people are saying, I see this all the time, I can't meditate. I don't know how to meditate. I don't know what that is. How are you ever going to get to know yourself? And if you're not going to meditate, write down what you want. Write down what you want to magnetically attract. Put it out there. Get a journal. Write it down. If you do art, put what you want to attract into your art. Put what you want to magnetically attract to you in your poetry. Put what you want to magnetically attract into your stories, into your writing. I don't care what you do. If you sculpt, put your ideal, your environment, your room, especially your bedroom. Create an environment that supports your higher self, the best self that you want to be, because that's what's most important. And then your electromagnetic energy will work for you. And you don't have to do shit. You'll start to see great things happening. I was in Michael's earlier today, looking for like some storyboards and shit like that, and arts and crafts or whatever. And I was in Michael's, and there was a sale or something. And I remember going to the register, and it was regular price. And he was like, "Yo, do you have a coupon?" I was like, "Nah." He was like, "Don't worry, bro. I'll apply it for you." And, I saved like $20 based on this coupon that I knew nothing about. And he didn't have to tell me. You know what I'm saying? He could have just charged me whatever. It doesn't make any difference to him. The other day I went to Staples. Gotten some printer paper for my printer. Dude came, somebody walked on the line, took the paper. I'm like, "Why are you taking the paper?" He's like, "Nah, bro, don't get that. This paper's $5. You're getting a $10 sheet of paper. Here, you could get 2 for the price of 1. Out of nowhere. Yesterday at the beach with my daughter. I'm just giving you examples. Yesterday at the beach with my daughter, I'm sitting down, me and my daughter, we like, damn, we forgot to get drinks to bring them to the beach. The lady, literally probably 5 minutes later, was like, looked back, said, "Yo, you got a bottle opener?" "Sure do." I had a bottle opener on my keychain. Gave her the bottle opener. She was like, "Yo, you want a beer?" "Yes, I do." She gave me a beer, gave my daughter some juice, offered me a rum punch after that. We ended up having a good conversation. Magnetic energy, and these are just small examples. If you look at my video, I've shown you what I've done with scratch-offs. But I always generate these things in my head. I am abundant. Positive things happen to me every day. Positive people come into my life unexpectedly. I respect and love myself. I love life. I am grateful for everything that I have. And you have to start with gratitude, because if you don't appreciate what you have right now, if you don't love what you have right now, remember, depression weighs you down. Depression is bringing you, it's going to attract more things that depress you, more things that bring you down. Trust me, I know. I've lived depression. You can't. I've suffered from seasonal affective disorder, and it has a weight to it. You ever been in love though? Remember when you first fall in love with somebody? It's the best time in life. Everything is going great. Everything good is happening. The sun shines brighter. Water tastes better. The food you eat tastes better. Everything just feels good because you're in love. Now imagine not depending on being in love with someone and generating that love state on your own. That same feeling that you have when you first meet someone, generating that state of mind on your own. That is electromagnetism. And the way you do that is through habit, reinforcement, through repetition, through honoring your ancestors, through, if you do deity work, honoring your deities and giving them energy so that they can help you. If you work with fairies, same thing. If you're a prayer person, doing prayers on a regular basis, a prayer warrior is going to let me say something about this. A person that is sincere, that is a prayer warrior, is going to outshine someone who just knows a whole bunch of history about Egypt, Sumer, and, the Americas and whatever. They are going to be better than you. Why? Because they are repetitiously praying about what they want, and they are activating their electromagnetic field, and that field is going to draw in the things that they're praying about on a continuous basis. The Lord doesn't give a fuck about your religion, my brothers and sisters. The Lord gives a fuck about what you put out into the universe, and what you put out into the universe will be drawn to you. So let's get on our game. Let's look at the information we take in. We're nothing but computers. And the data that we bring into our minds is what shapes us physically, chemically, and spiritually, and even scientifically, based on the atoms that we have. Most of our atoms, well, not most, all of your atoms are 99% empty space. 99% empty space is in every atom in your body. So you could do what thou wilt with that empty space. That empty space is possibility. It's possibility. It is based on what quantum scientists or quantum theorists call the observer effect. And it's not even a theory, it's a fact. What you observe is your reality. And what you focus on is your reality. You ever wanted to buy a car, right? Or went to the dealership and looked at a car, and all of a sudden you buy that car. Oh no, all of a sudden you start seeing that car everywhere, right? You're thinking about that car, you want to buy it, and all of a sudden you start seeing that car everywhere. It's because of your perception. Your third eye is now focused, your third eye has planted that seed of you getting that car, so now you're going to see it more and more often. Magnetism. It's trying to draw you closer to it, so now you see it more. Magnetism. We are electromagnetic. So let's strengthen our electromagnetic fields, y'all. Y'all put some godhood back into this universe. Be the light in the darkness. And this is not to say to be a sucker or turn the other cheek, because part of being the light, part of your protecting your electromagnetic field is protecting yourself and knowing when to say no, and knowing when to say get the fuck out of here, because you don't want to magnetize yourself to something that is not sufficient for you. So with that, peace, power, and prosperity to you and yours. I hope you're having a wonderful day, wonderful evening, whenever you're watching this. And starting today, write things, fix your environment, fix your room, put pictures around that inspire you, read books that inspire you, watch films that inspire you. It is not to say you can't take a break, but 85% of your life, if you're really about this godhood, if you're really about mastering self, if you're really about spiritual development, if you're really about maximizing who you are, is thinking the right thoughts, because everything is mind and the universe is mental. Then when you think these right thoughts, when you have this idea, you have to activate it with your electric energy. You have to put energy towards it. You have to put power towards it. You could think it. But I know the book says think and grow rich, but you could sit there and think all day. You'll be a monk that's homeless. You'd be a homeless ass monk. So you better think, and then move towards growing rich. Because once you send the idea in your mind, the universe is going to start bringing things to you. You're magnets. So the universe is going to, once you put that energy out there, you start making motion, the universe is going to start bringing people to you. It's going to start bringing things to you. It's going to start bringing opportunities to you. But you have to put that electricity forward. You have to enhance that field that's around your atoms. That 99% space that is in the atom, you have to program that. You're programming the computer, which is your mind, to activate the software that's in to activate the software. You're programming the software, or you're actually putting in data into your software, which is your mind, which has affected the hardware of your body. A lot of us have viruses. A lot of us have viruses from foreign attackers, just like your computer does. Again, peace, power, and prosperity. Have a happy Memorial Day, or wherever you're watching this. Hope you and your family are well. Peace, peace, peace.